I think a lot of the work I do are stories that I research over a long period of time, and I figure out how to approach the subject and how to get access. That's not something that's easy. It's establishing relationships. Most of photojournalism isn't actually about photography, it's about relationships.
A lot of the work you do is about lives that are invisible, stories we don't know and that we haven't heard of. And why do you focus on the lives of women and the kinds of issues that actually affect the lives of women?
I do focus on women's issues. A lot of that has to do with gender-based violence, has to do with rape as a weapon of war. I have access to those things because I'm a woman, and women feel comfortable talking about those issues with other women.
Your experience in Libya is extreme, but you've also had a lot of extreme experiences. And how do you make sense of them? How do you understand kind of bringing your life together here and wherever there is?
Yeah, I've had a lot of close calls in the last 5 years, but I also think I'm very lucky to be able to go in and out of these situations knowing that I can leave. Most of the people I photograph are in that life forever. That's much harder for me to deal with than the fact that I've seen a traumatic situation or I've experienced something traumatic. You know, most of these people suffer lives of abuse and hardship. Afghanistan, the society is very segregated. Men and women lead very separate lives, and for me, I have access to the women, and I have an access that my male colleagues don't have. Men who are not blood relatives or married into a family cannot enter a home in that part of the world, and so I can, and so I'm able to go in there and provide a picture of that part of society. A lot of the questions I'm getting recently are, should women even be in war zones? Should women cover conflict? And to me, that's not the right question to ask, because if any of you have heard, I lost 2 friends were killed in Libya last week, and they were men, and they have paid the highest price. And I think that men and women, we cover war because we think it needs to be covered, not because I'm a woman or because they're men. We all face the same risks, and we all take we make great personal sacrifices to be there. And I think there are times when I am more vulnerable than my male colleagues, when we were detained and tied up and blindfolded. It's very important to understand that women do lend a different perspective than men to some conflicts and to some stories.
So how do you portray your story through your creative art?
I mean, I think in a place like Libya, people were very open and very much wanted to tell their stories. I try not to impose my own views on that. I think that they're very clear in what they want to say to us and what they want to open up to us. Libya was a situation where, emotions were running high pretty much the entire time I was there, and people would just sort of grab you and take you to places, and you go. And for me, it wasn't about me, it was about them, and it was about me being a vehicle to get their word out. On the surface, I've experienced so much and seen so much, I would be completely insane to not have that, be traumatized, but I feel like I'm really lucky, actually, that we are born into lives of privilege, and compared to most people in the world. And so for me, I feel like I'm really lucky.